humans aboard the USS Vanguard first noticed the strange signal while scanning the Zarathus Sector 9. It was unlike anything they had encountered before. Patterns of energy pulses and repeating sequences suggested intelligence, not a natural phenomenon. Scientists and engineers immediately began analyzing the signal, trying to determine its origin and purpose. Captain Elias Mercer ordered the ship to maintain position and gather every possible detail. Crew members worked around the clock to decode the message, but the signal seemed almost designed to confuse, shifting frequencies and sending bursts that repeated in irregular intervals. Analysts speculated it could be a warning, a trap, or perhaps an invitation. Every possibility weighed heavily on human minds. As the team dug deeper, they realized that the signal contained structured mathematical sequences, too precise to be random. It indicated a species with advanced technology and a high level of intelligence. Commander Vera Chen, leading the science division, suggested that it could be a prelude to an alien incursion. Humans might be the first species targeted. The thought sent ripples of urgency across the ship. Captain Mercer called an emergency council with senior officers to discuss possible actions. The conversation was tense. Everyone knew that space was full of dangers. But this felt different. The signal was deliberate, purposeful, and potentially threatening. The human command needed a plan that was both cautious and proactive. At the same time, sensors detected distant signatures of alien fleets, enormous ships moving steadily through the sector. Humans identified them as part of the Korthul Armada. Their lead vessels were the Dread Talon and the Shadow Spear, both colossal warships bristling with unknown weaponry. Humans had no direct experience with the Korthuls, but intercepted communications suggested a species that relied on intimidation and overwhelming force. Analysts studied their patterns and tactics, trying to find weaknesses, while still grappling with the urgency of decoding the signal. Captain Mercer emphasized that observation and patience were as important as preparation. Humans needed every piece of information before making a move. Meanwhile, the aliens under Commander Gyrax monitored the sector with their own sensors, unaware that the humans had detected the signal. Gyrax assumed that the humans were too primitive to interpret the warning. The arrogance of the Korthuls became apparent to human intelligence, and it fueled the belief that they had an advantage. Human crews worked tirelessly, analyzing the alien ship's energy signatures, scanning for vulnerabilities. Every officer understood the stakes. One mistake could cost an entire fleet, yet there was a sense of excitement in the challenge. The unknown pushed humans to innovate, to think creatively, and to anticipate what the Korthuls might do next. The signal itself seemed to react to human analysis. Small changes in transmission patterns suggested it could be observing human responses. Scientists speculated that it might be a test, designed to see how prepared humans were. Or perhaps it was a lure, leading humans to a location favorable to the Korthuls. Captain Mercer ordered simulations to predict every possible scenario, from diplomatic communication attempts to full-scale defensive maneuvers. Crew members ran calculations that would take days in normal conditions. But every moment counted. Tensions rose as time passed. Humans felt both fear and determination. The unknown nature of the threat created an electric atmosphere aboard the Vanguard. While the technical teams worked, morale officers reminded the crew to stay focused and calm. The human mind was as important as the fleet's weapons. Engineers double-checked the Vanguard's shields, weapons, and stealth systems, ready for any unexpected engagement. Scouts were dispatched to nearby sectors to detect movement, and a network of satellites was aligned to provide early warning. Humans prepared quietly, knowing that the Korthuls might not show aggression immediately. The trap they would eventually create needed perfect timing and complete knowledge. The process of preparation itself taught humans how resilient and inventive they could be. The first part of the mission highlighted humanity's strengths: observation, strategy, and patience. Humans realized that the signal was both a threat and an opportunity. It allowed them to study the Korthuls before direct contact, giving them a chance to learn, adapt, and respond. The sense of urgency drove innovation. Every day, crew members discovered new insights. Every calculation refined their understanding, and every observation added clarity to an otherwise confusing and dangerous situation. Anticipation grew as the alien fleet slowly moved closer, unaware that humans were already preparing the ultimate trap, a challenge that would test skill, courage, and the limits of human ingenuity. The human leadership convened a secret council aboard the orbital command station Titanus, a massive structure hovering near the edge of Forsyth Nebula. Designed to coordinate strategic operations across multiple sectors, strategists, scientists, engineers, and military commanders gathered to devise a plan that could counter the looming threat of the Korthal Armada. Captain Elias Mercer presented detailed intelligence reports on the alien fleet, highlighting the capabilities of the Dread Talon, Shadow Spear, and Void Reaper. Analysts mapped out every possible route the aliens could take and began selecting a location where humans could maximize their defensive advantages. The remote and volatile region of the Forsyth Nebula was chosen because its dense asteroid fields and nebula clouds would conceal human movements and slow down the massive alien ships. Every aspect of the trap was designed with precision. Humans deployed fleets including the USS Vanguard, USS Resolute, and USS Phoenix into hidden positions. Cloaking devices rendered the ships invisible to enemy sensors. Stealth drones patrolled the area, feeding real-time intelligence back to command. Automated minefields were placed at choke points, each explosive device programmed to activate only when an alien vessel entered the optimal zone. The engineers designed them to adapt to alien maneuvers. The goal was not to overwhelm immediately, but to lure the Korthals deeper into the trap, forcing them into positions where human firepower would be most effective. Civilians from planet Arden Prime were evacuated quietly to secure locations on neighboring worlds. Human intelligence anticipated potential panic, ensuring that families, scientists, and laborers were moved without causing chaos. Every evacuation was coordinated to avoid revealing the trap's location. Captain Mercer emphasized that secrecy was as important as firepower. The human crews trained relentlessly, running simulations of Korthal attacks, learning how alien ships might respond to mines, how cloaked ships could maneuver without being detected, and how to coordinate multi-ship strikes with perfect timing. Engineers and strategists worked together, adjusting tactics based on simulated outcomes, every day refining the plan. While humans prepared, the Korthals continued their advance, completely unaware of the intricate network waiting for them. Commander Gyrax assumed that humans were disorganized and overconfident, believing the alien fleet's superior technology and firepower would intimidate any defenders. This arrogance played into human hands, as analysts studied alien sensors and weapon ranges to determine vulnerabilities. Humans developed countermeasures against known Korthal tactics, designing strategies to exploit overconfidence and predictable movements. The key was patience, allowing the Korthals to act first, giving humans the advantage of reacting from prepared positions. In addition to military positioning, humans enhanced communication networks and surveillance arrays. Satellites and probe drones scanned the sector continuously, feeding data to the orbital command station Titanus. Scientists worked on predictive algorithms to anticipate alien decisions. Every officer and crew member understood that a single miscalculation could compromise the trap. Humans practiced contingency plans for every eventuality, from alien evasive maneuvers to unexpected reinforcements arriving from Korthal home sectors. Morale officers ensured that stress and fear did not affect performance. The human mind had to remain as sharp as the fleet's weapons. Training exercises became more intense as the Korthals drew closer. Tactical drills involved synchronizing multiple ships' movements, coordinating cloaked attacks, and managing automated defenses remotely. Each drill emphasized timing, precision, and teamwork. Engineers tested new adaptive mine designs, capable of responding to alien shield frequencies, and weapon systems were fine-tuned to exploit weaknesses discovered in earlier intelligence reports. Even the smallest details were considered, from the optimal angle of attack to the speed at which ships would deploy in different nebula conditions. The entire operation became a symphony of preparation and foresight. As days passed, humans grew confident in their plan, knowing that every ship, mine, and drone was positioned to perfection. Captain Mercer inspected crews personally, ensuring readiness and reinforcing discipline. Communication was maintained at all levels. Every officer understood the importance of patience. The ultimate goal was not a reckless attack, but a carefully executed ambush that would neutralize the Korthal armada efficiently. The humans prepared for months, refining each strategy, practicing every scenario, and ensuring that the trap was invisible until the precise moment of activation. The Forsyth Nebula became a chessboard, and humanity the master strategist, ready to lure an overconfident alien fleet into their ultimate trap. Alien scouts from the Korthal Armada moved steadily through the void toward the Forsyth Nebula. Their enormous ships, including the Dread Talon, Shadow Spear, and Void Reaper, cutting through space with mechanical precision. Humans aboard the USS Vanguard and USS Phoenix observed every movement carefully. Sensors recorded energy signatures, hull designs, and propulsion methods. Analysts compared this data with previous intelligence, searching for weaknesses. Every slight adjustment in alien formation was noted. Humans speculated about the Korthal's intentions, whether they were testing human defenses or simply following standard patrol routes. Captain Elias Mercer ordered no premature engagement, understanding that patience was the key to the success of the trap. The alien fleet moved confidently, showing no sign of suspicion. Commander Gyrax believed humans were too inexperienced to anticipate advanced tactics. The arrogance of the Korthals gave humans a strategic advantage. Sensors detected the alien ship's communications, energy emissions, and weapon readiness. Analysts used this information to predict their possible maneuvers. Humans ran countless simulations to anticipate every scenario, from frontal assaults to evasive maneuvers. Every crew member understood the importance of remaining invisible while gathering maximum intelligence. Stealth drones moved among asteroids and nebula clouds, mapping alien movements without being detected. Every passing hour brought the humans closer to the perfect moment for activation. Meanwhile, the Korthal scouts sent back reports to Commander Gyrax, describing the nebula as lightly defended, their arrogance evident in every message. They assumed humans lacked the capacity to prepare a complex trap. This underestimation was exactly what human strategists had hoped for. Every sensor reading was analyzed by Commander Vera Chen and her science team to find patterns in alien formation and behavior. Energy pulses, weapon charge times, and shield fluctuations were meticulously studied. The humans noticed small but critical habits in Korthal maneuvers that could be exploited later. The aliens' overconfidence became their greatest weakness. The humans also monitored the alien fleet's long-range sensors, discovering that the Korthals were primarily focused on gathering information about the nebula's layout rather than scanning for hidden threats. This further reassured human commanders that the trap would remain undetected. Captain Mercer held frequent briefings with his senior officers, reviewing the latest intelligence and adjusting fleet positions subtly to maintain concealment. Every movement had to be calculated. A single misstep could reveal their hand prematurely. Crews maintained vigilance, tracking multiple alien vessels simultaneously, while simultaneously ensuring their own systems remained fully operational. As the alien fleet advanced, humans began noticing subtle changes in their formation. Small adjustments that suggested the Korthals were preparing for a deeper entry into the nebula. This reinforced the human strategy, confirming that the trap could be activated at maximum effectiveness if timing was maintained. Drones and satellites provided continuous updates on alien velocity, distance between ships, and energy consumption. The human teams ran simulations constantly, testing various scenarios where Korthal ships might attempt to escape or regroup. The goal was to ensure that the trap would account for any unpredictable maneuvers. Crew morale aboard the USS Vanguard and allied vessels remained high, driven by a sense of purpose and the meticulous planning that had gone into the operation. Humans trained for rapid coordination, learning to deploy weapons, minefields, and cloaked ships simultaneously. Timing was critical. Every second mattered. The humans were confident that their patience would pay off. Anticipation built as the Korthal fleet neared the trap zone. Every officer knew that the next phase of the mission would require perfect execution. Failure was not an option. The Korthals, despite their advanced technology, remained blind to the human preparations. Their arrogance and focus on brute force left them vulnerable. Humans capitalized on every observation, understanding that the alien fleet's predictable behavior was the key to the upcoming ambush. The Forsyth Nebula became a silent battlefield of observation and anticipation. a place where humans silently outmaneuvered their opponents without firing a single shot. Every maneuver, every adjustment, and every calculation contributed to the moment when the trap would finally be triggered. Humans remained patient, poised, and ready, knowing that the approaching aliens were walking directly into their carefully constructed web. The Kortul Armada entered human-controlled space cautiously, their massive ships, including the Dread Talon, Shadow Spear, and Void Reaper, moving steadily toward the heart of the Forsyth Nebula. Humans aboard the USS Vanguard, USS Phoenix, and USS Resolute observed silently, every sensor active, every energy reading analyzed. Captain Elias Mercer ordered strict radio silence, knowing that even the smallest signal could alert the aliens to human positions. Drones weaved through asteroid fields and dense nebula clouds, mapping alien formations and feeding real-time data to Commander Vera Chen. The science division worked tirelessly to predict Korthul maneuvers and calculate the precise moment to trigger the trap. Reconnaissance probes sent by the Korthuls scouted ahead, scanning for defenses and possible ambush points. Humans allowed the probes to continue without interference, understanding that their presence could mislead the aliens into underestimating the danger. The probes transmitted data back to Commander Gyrax, who remained confident that humans posed no real threat. The arrogance of the alien leader became the humans' greatest advantage. Scouts aboard the human fleet analyzed every transmission, noting energy signatures and shield variations. Subtle patterns in alien behavior were identified that would later be exploited in the attack. As the Korthuls advanced, the humans adjusted their positions quietly. Cloaked ships shifted into optimal locations, minefields were aligned perfectly along predicted alien paths, and drones relayed constant updates to the command center. Captain Mercer coordinated with fleet captains to ensure timing was synchronized. Every vessel had a specific role, from drawing the Korthuls deeper into the trap to providing rapid support in case of unexpected maneuvers. Humans maintained discipline, understanding that even a small mistake could reveal the trap before activation. The nebula itself became part of the strategy. Dense clouds and asteroid clusters provided natural concealment, limiting the aliens' long-range sensors and slowing their progress. The Korthuls, focused on exploration and confident in their superiority, did not suspect that the humans had exploited every environmental advantage. Analysts predicted likely escape routes and choke points, ensuring that once the trap was triggered, there would be no easy exit for the alien fleet. Humans felt a mixture of tension and excitement, knowing that patience and precision were key to success. The alien fleet sent minor signals to one another, coordinating movements, but humans intercepted and analyzed these communications, identifying inconsistencies and gaps that indicated overconfidence and poor internal coordination. Every crew member aboard human ships was alert, trained to act at the exact moment. The anticipation of the coming conflict heightened focus and discipline. The air inside the vessels was tense but purposeful. Engineers and weapons officers ran final system checks, ensuring that shields, weapons, and cloaking devices would operate flawlessly during the ambush. Despite their advanced technology, the Korthuls underestimated human intelligence. Their arrogance blinded them to the growing threat. Humans recognized that this psychological edge was as valuable as any weapon. The aliens' predictability allowed human commanders to refine timing, calculate precise points of engagement, and synchronize multiple fleet elements to work together seamlessly. Even small deviations in alien movement were accounted for, ensuring that the trap would function perfectly when triggered. As the fleet moved deeper into the nebula, humans prepared for the moment when observation would turn into action. The tension aboard USS Vanguard and Allied ships was palpable, yet calm and focus dominated. Every crew member knew their role, from targeting alien shield generators to coordinating cloaked ship maneuvers and activating hidden minefields. Simulations had prepared them for every scenario. But the real challenge remained in executing perfectly against a live and powerful enemy. The stage was set. The aliens continued unknowingly toward the human ambush. Reconnaissance probes relayed every minor adjustment, and cloaked ships were in place, mines positioned at critical junctions, fleet coordination ready for instant execution. Humans remained patient, waiting for the exact moment when all variables aligned. Anticipation built as the Korthul Armada moved deeper. completely oblivious to the invisible web of preparation surrounding them. The Forsyth Nebula had become a silent battlefield where every second of observation brought humans closer to unleashing the ultimate trap. At the precise moment, humans triggered the trap. Automated minefields hidden among asteroids and dense nebula clouds exploded simultaneously, sending shockwaves through the Korthal Armada. The Dread Talon and Shadow Spear were caught in the first blast, energy shields flickering under the unexpected assault. Cloaked human ships, including the USS Vanguard, USS Phoenix, and USS Resolute, emerged from hiding, their weapons trained on critical points of the alien vessels. Concentrated volleys of plasma and missile strikes hit weak spots identified during months of preparation. The Korthals were thrown into chaos, their formations breaking under precise and coordinated attacks. Commander Xerax struggled to regain control of the fleet, issuing orders that were delayed by disrupted communication systems. Panic spread among alien ranks. Previously confident officers hesitated, unsure which threats were real and which were decoys. The humans maintained perfect timing, each strike calculated to exploit the aliens' predictable reactions. Cloaked vessels moved in perfect synchronization, hitting shields, engines, and weapons simultaneously. Mines adapted to alien evasive maneuvers, detonating exactly where they would cause maximum disruption. The battlefield became a carefully orchestrated symphony of destruction. Human crews coordinated flawlessly, every officer aware of the role of their ship in the larger strategy. Drones relayed real-time updates, adjusting fire patterns and positions of allied vessels. Every weapon system fired only at critical moments, ensuring efficiency and preventing waste of resources. The Korthals, despite their advanced technology, were unprepared for the level of precision and coordination demonstrated by humans. Ships collided with debris, shields overloaded, and smaller vessels were destroyed without warning. Confusion dominated the alien ranks as they attempted to escape from the trap. The USS Vanguard, under Captain Elias Mercer, led a strike group that targeted the Dread Talon's engines and weapons simultaneously, disabling its ability to maneuver or fire effectively. Other human ships flanked the Shadow Spear, keeping it under constant assault. Missiles and energy beams struck in a relentless barrage. While cloaked ships moved undetected to cut off any escape route, humans had anticipated every potential path for retreat. And alien ships found themselves trapped within overlapping fields of fire. Panic intensified as alien officers realized that their superior numbers and firepower had been neutralized by human strategy. While the battle raged, humans continued to monitor every alien movement, adjusting mine detonations and ship positions dynamically. Predictive algorithms calculated alien reactions and refined attacks in real time. Smaller Korthal vessels were neutralized first, creating bottlenecks that funneled larger ships into kill zones. Explosions and energy discharges illuminated the nebula, showing flashes of cloaked human vessels maneuvering invisibly. Every human crew member knew the importance of timing, executing maneuvers within seconds of one another, maintaining absolute synchronization to maximize the trap's effect. The Korthals attempted countermeasures, deploying energy shields and evasive maneuvers. But humans had anticipated each tactic. Mines adapted instantly, plasma volleys redirected by predictive targeting systems, and cloaked vessels repositioned to maintain pressure. Alien energy weapons collided with human defenses, creating spectacular bursts in space. But humans' superior coordination ensured that damage was minimized, while alien losses mounted. Panic spread further as alien command structures failed to respond effectively. Internal confusion paralyzed decision-making. Throughout the engagement, the USS Phoenix and USS Resolute executed flanking maneuvers that severed communication links between Korthal ships. Isolating command vessels from support units, human crews exploited every moment of weakness. Targeting critical systems such as shield generators, propulsion units, and weapon arrays, the Korthals had no room to regroup. Every action met with immediate, calculated response. The battlefield became a trap of converging fire, mine explosions, and tactical pressure, each alien ship rendered increasingly vulnerable. By the end of the initial engagement, the Dread Talon and Shadow Spear were incapacitated. Smaller Korthal ships either destroyed or fleeing in confusion. Humans maintained control over every aspect of the battlefield. Cloaked ships retracted temporarily to regroup, and minefields continued to act as barriers. The Korthals realized too late that their arrogance and overconfidence had led them into a meticulously prepared trap. Humans had demonstrated patience, precision, and strategy, turning the tide against a far larger and technologically advanced enemy. The success of the trap reinforced humanity's belief in careful planning and disciplined execution. Humans observed the battlefield with satisfaction, knowing that the trap had achieved its primary goal. Chaos among alien ranks allowed human forces to anticipate every reaction. Their superior strategy ensured minimal casualties. The moment of activation had been flawless, and the Korthals were left struggling to survive. Each human ship continued to execute its role, preparing for the next phase of the operation, while Commander Zyrax frantically sought a way to salvage his fleet from the devastating ambush. The Korthals were thrown into panic as human forces continued to press their advantage. Commander Zyrax ordered a desperate counterattack, deploying the Void Reaper and Night Talon to flank human positions. But humans anticipated these moves. Fleets including the USS Vanguard, USS Phoenix, and USS Resolute shifted dynamically. Cloaked ships repositioned to intercept. Minefields were already in place to channel the alien vessels into kill zones. Energy beams and missiles struck with precision, crippling enemy ships before they could execute maneuvers. Confusion spread among Korthal crews as they realized that every path of retreat was blocked. Their superior firepower and size meant little against the careful coordination of human forces. Human commanders maintained perfect control over the battle. Drones relayed live information, updating targeting systems and alerting ships to minor shifts in alien formations. Every move of the Korthals was anticipated. Predictive algorithms calculated the most likely reactions to human attacks. Humans executed countermeasures instantly, neutralizing shields and weapons of the most threatening ships. Smaller alien vessels were quickly eliminated, leaving the larger ships exposed to concentrated fire. Panic intensified as the Korthals found that their tactics were predictable. Arrogance had blinded them to human strategy, and every action was met with an immediate, devastating response. Inside the human command ships, officers and crew remained calm but focused, monitoring the battlefield with unwavering attention. Captain Elias Mercer coordinated fleet movements with a clarity born of meticulous preparation. Communication lines ensured that every ship knew its role at every second. Engineers monitored weapon systems, ensuring optimal power distribution and targeting accuracy. Cloaked vessels moved silently around the edges of the battlefield, ready to strike at any alien ship attempting to escape. Humans exploited every weakness identified in previous intelligence, turning the Korthals' strength against them. As the Korthals struggled to regain composure, internal dissent began to surface. Smaller commanders questioned Zyrax's orders, arguing that retreat was necessary. But communication disruptions caused by human strikes prevented coherent coordination. Confusion and fear spread like wildfire, leaving ships isolated and vulnerable. Humans observed and adapted to every development, closing gaps in their trap and adjusting attack patterns to exploit alien disorder. Every move was precise, every attack synchronized, and every Korthal reaction foreseen. The humans' patience and strategy gave them an overwhelming psychological and tactical advantage. The USS Phoenix executed a rapid flanking maneuver, cutting off a group of alien vessels attempting to regroup. Cloaked ships targeted engines and communication arrays, leaving them paralyzed. Missiles from the USS Resolute hit weapon systems simultaneously, ensuring that the Korthals could not return fire effectively. Energy pulses from hidden minefields detonated exactly where alien ships attempted evasive actions. Every tactic was calculated to minimize human risk while maximizing alien losses. The Korthals realized that technology alone could not overcome the humans' superior coordination and intelligence. Human forces moved methodically, isolating larger alien ships and forcing them into preset kill zones. Cloaked ships shadowed any vessel attempting escape. Mines activated in perfect sequence, explosions lit the nebula with energy discharges, and every strike was timed to ensure maximum disruption. Smaller alien vessels were trapped and destroyed, leaving only the most powerful ships exposed. The Korthals' morale collapsed as they witnessed their fleet disintegrating around them. Commander Zyrax grew increasingly desperate. issuing orders that could not be executed effectively. Throughout the battle, humans adapted to every alien maneuver, continuously refining attacks, moving ships into optimal positions, and anticipating evasive actions. The Forsyth Nebula became a perfect battlefield for humans' disciplined strategy. The aliens' arrogance and reliance on brute force had been neutralized. Every failed counterattack strengthened the humans' control, and every success reinforced the psychological dominance of human forces. The Korthals were learning too late that intelligence, patience, and preparation were far more powerful than raw size or firepower. By the end of this phase, the alien fleet was fractured and weakened, remaining ships isolated and vulnerable. Humans maintained control over the battlefield, ensuring that no Korthal vessel could regroup effectively. Every engagement had been calculated, executed, and adjusted in real time. The trap had worked flawlessly. And the Korthals were left with no options. Desperation now ruled their actions, and humans continued to press with unwavering precision, demonstrating that strategy, coordination, and anticipation could overcome even the most formidable enemy. Humans observed their work with focus and calm satisfaction, knowing that the next phase would allow them to deliver the final blow. The Forsyth Nebula remained under human control, and the Korthals, despite their superior technology, were learning that arrogance and impatience were dangerous mistakes when facing an enemy as disciplined and prepared as humanity. Every ship, every crew member, and every weapon had contributed to the tightening of the trap, leaving alien forces on the brink of total defeat. Humans prepared for the final phase of the operation, knowing that precision and timing were critical to ensure the complete neutralization of the Korthal Armada, cloaked ships, including the USS Vanguard, USS Phoenix, and USS Resolute, moved into their final attack positions. Every vessel was synchronized to strike simultaneously. Mines were adjusted to create overlapping kill zones, and predictive algorithms calculated the exact moment when alien ships would be most vulnerable. Captain Elias Mercer coordinated with all fleet commanders to ensure that every movement was executed flawlessly. Communications were encrypted and minimal, allowing only essential orders to prevent detection. The Korthals, already weakened and disorganized from previous assaults, attempted to regroup, but humans anticipated their moves. Flanking maneuvers cut off escape routes. Cloaked ships targeted engines, weapon systems, and shield generators simultaneously. Mines detonated in sequence, trapping larger ships like the Dread Talon and Void Reaper in overlapping fields of fire. Energy beams and plasma volleys struck every vulnerable point identified during months of preparation. Chaos spread through alien ranks as they realized that every path of retreat had been blocked, and every attempt at counterattack failed. Predictive targeting systems allowed human crews to adjust attacks instantly, responding to alien evasive maneuvers in real time. Smaller Korthal vessels were destroyed first, leaving the massive warships exposed to concentrated fire. Every human ship had a specific role, from suppressing shields to striking propulsion systems and critical command nodes. Drones monitored the battlefield continuously, relaying data to fleet commanders who adjusted tactics dynamically. The coordination and discipline of humans proved far superior to the Korthals' size and raw firepower. The USS Phoenix executed a rapid strike against the Shadow Spear, disabling its energy shields, while the USS Resolute and accompanying cloaked vessels targeted weapons and communication arrays, rendering the ship incapable of responding. Simultaneously, the USS Vanguard led a frontal assault on the Dread Talon, using combined firepower to destroy engines and critical systems. Alien ships attempted evasive action, but mines and coordinated human attacks blocked every exit. Panic and fear spread among Korthal crews, their once confident command structure collapsing under the relentless precision of human strategy. Human forces maintained discipline, timing, and synchronization. Every missile, energy beam, and mine detonation perfectly calculated to maximize damage while minimizing risk. Cloaked ships provided support by silently targeting isolated vessels and reinforcing critical points. Humans exploited every weakness in alien formation, every reaction anticipated and countered. The battlefield became a network of converging fire, trapping alien ships in calculated zones of destruction. Every maneuver executed with the skill and coordination that months of preparation had created. The Korthals' arrogance and overconfidence had left them vulnerable. Their advanced technology no longer an advantage against humans' superior strategy. Energy shields failed under focused assaults. Engines were destroyed before escape could be attempted, and weapons systems were disabled, leaving alien crews unable to mount effective resistance. Smaller vessels were quickly eliminated, ensuring that larger ships could not be protected or reinforced. Humans had effectively turned the Korthals' numbers against them, concentrating fire and pressure at exactly the right points. As the final blows were delivered, the remaining Korthal fleet fractured, fleeing ships intercepted and destroyed or forced into dead ends. Cloaked vessels cut off escape routes, while mines and plasma volleys completed the destruction. Captain Mercer and fleet commanders coordinated every action, ensuring that the ambush was total and that no alien ship could regroup. The battlefield was now entirely under human control, every remaining alien vessel incapacitated, and the threat of counterattack eliminated. With the Dread Talon, Shadow Spear, and Void Reaper neutralized, humans surveyed the battlefield, confirming that the trap had worked flawlessly. Minimal human casualties occurred thanks to the careful planning and execution. Morale aboard every ship was high, and the precision of their coordinated strikes demonstrated humanity's capability to overcome a technologically superior enemy through strategy, patience, and discipline. The Forsyth Nebula now belonged to humans, its control a testament to preparation and tactical intelligence. Even as surviving Korthal ships attempted to flee, human forces monitored their movements, ensuring that none could escape to regroup and threaten other sectors. Every maneuver, calculation, and adjustment had been executed as planned. Human crews remained vigilant, ready for any residual threats. The ultimate goal had been achieved. The alien fleet defeated decisively without reckless risk, and humanity had proven intelligence, preparation, and unity could triumph over raw power and arrogance. The final phase cemented humans' reputation as a disciplined and strategically superior force. The Forsyth Nebula secured, and the Korthal Armada left in disarray. Captain Mercer and fleet commanders coordinated post-battle assessments, ensuring that every system was operational and that any surviving alien threats could be tracked. Humanity's patience, precision, and relentless execution had turned a dangerous encounter into a complete victory, demonstrating the power of careful planning and flawless execution against even the most formidable foes. With the Korthal Armada defeated and the Forsyth Nebula under complete human control, crews aboard the USS Vanguard, USS Phoenix, and USS Resolute began securing the battlefield. Drones scanned the area for any remaining alien vessels. Minefields were deactivated safely, and all data from the engagement was collected for analysis. Captain Elias Mercer coordinated with fleet commanders to ensure that no Korthal ships could escape to threaten nearby sectors. Predictive sensors monitored every exit point, and cloaked ships patrolled the perimeter. Humans wanted to ensure that the victory was absolute, leaving no chance for the aliens to regroup or retaliate. Human scientists aboard the Orbital Command Station, Titanus studied the wreckage of the Korthal ships, analyzing their advanced technology, energy systems, and weapons designs. Commander Vera Chen led teams that discovered insights into alien propulsion, shield frequencies, and communication methods. This knowledge would be invaluable for strengthening human defenses in future encounters. Engineers worked on reverse engineering Korthal energy weapons and improving targeting systems. Every discovery reinforced the humans' understanding that preparation and intelligence could turn the tide even against superior technology. Survivors of the human forces conducted repair operations on the fleet, ensuring that the USS Vanguard, USS Phoenix, and USS Resolute were ready for future missions. Crew morale remained high, despite the fatigue from extended combat. Officers held briefings to review the engagement, analyzing what had worked perfectly and what could be improved. Captain Mercer emphasized the importance of vigilance, explaining that even though the Korthals had been defeated, humanity must remain prepared for threats from other alien sectors. Every officer understood that strategy, discipline, and teamwork were just as important in peacetime as they were in battle. Human leadership also focused on celebrating success without distraction. Memorials were established for those who had been lost during preparation or minor engagements. Civilians from planet Arden Prime returned gradually under careful supervision. Reassured that the human fleet had neutralized the alien threat, communications throughout nearby sectors highlighted humanity's tactical brilliance. Word of the decisive victory spread among human colonies, inspiring confidence and reinforcing the belief that careful planning, patience, and intelligence were humanity's greatest strengths. Meanwhile, reports reached the humans about the surviving Korthal commanders and crews, who had fled in small, scattered groups. The aliens were demoralized and in disarray, their arrogance replaced with caution. Analysis indicated that future encounters would be approached with much more respect and wariness. Humans realized that the psychological impact of the victory was as important as the physical destruction of the fleet. Commander Zyrax and his officers had learned the consequences of underestimating human strategy, and this lesson would ripple through alien sectors, altering interstellar power dynamics. Back aboard the orbital command station Titanus, humans compiled comprehensive battle reports, cataloging every maneuver, weapon deployment, and strategic decision. These documents became a foundation for training future officers and fleet commanders. Simulations incorporated lessons learned from the battle, ensuring that humans could replicate and improve upon the precision demonstrated in the Forsyth Nebula. Every officer understood that victory was the result of careful planning, teamwork, and disciplined execution, not just the firepower of their ships, and this philosophy became central to human military doctrine. Civilians and crew alike reflected on the broader significance of the victory. Humanity had proven that intelligence, preparation, and patience could overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. The careful execution of strategy had neutralized a technologically superior enemy. The victory solidified humanity's reputation in nearby sectors as a force capable of defending itself and responding decisively to threats, even without direct aggression from the enemy. The lessons learned in the nebula would guide humanity in diplomacy, exploration, and defense, reinforcing the value of foresight, patience, and adaptability. The fleet began returning to standard patrols and maintenance schedules. Humans remained alert, continuing to monitor alien sectors for any new threats. The Forsyth Nebula now served as both a monument to human ingenuity and a forward base for ongoing operations. Captain Mercer and fleet commanders debriefed their crews, emphasizing the importance of readiness, discipline, and continued innovation. The success of the mission inspired confidence, but also reminded every human that space was vast, unpredictable, and full of challenges, and that vigilance must never be relaxed. As peace returned to the sector, humans reflected on the battle and the preparation that had made victory possible. They celebrated quietly but meaningfully. Memorials honored those who contributed to the mission, and scientific teams continued studying alien technology, ensuring that humanity's strength would only grow. The Korthals were forced to reconsider future encounters, and humans understood that strategy, intelligence, and discipline had secured not just a victory, but a lasting reputation as a powerful, resilient, and ingenious force in the galaxy.